Welcome to this edition of the Making of Champions Season 4. Today I have Jackson State University's own. They are here for representing cross-country track and field, have had plenty of championship exposures, conference-wise, going to regionals, going to nationals. I want to introduce a friend of mine, and hopefully is going to be a friend of yours, Coach Mark Thorne in the Jackson State University track and field cross-country program. Coach Thorne.
Thank you, Brother Tyree. It's a great honor to share the stage with you. Being around you for a long time, I think we kind of got into the coaching business together back in 10, 12 years ago. He was at SC State and we were brand new at Jackson State, and I've seen your program, and it's an honor and a pleasure for us to be part of what you're trying to do to spotlight HBCUs and uplift some of our programs.
Hey, well, please introduce your staff to the world.
I'll go ladies first. One of our trusted assistant, Anicia Brewster. Brewster is a two-time graduate of Jackson State. She ran for us a few years ago. I think we coached her junior or senior year, but she can expound on that. But she's one of our trusted assistants. She do a lot of the behind-the-scene work for us, keep us in compliance, keep everything flowing with the recruits and all that other stuff. And she's a great asset for us. A very energetic young and upcoming coach. I'm sure she'll be great in this game when the time comes.
Yeah.
Also, we have my trusted assistant, Jonathan Big Country Harris. This is my guy from day one. When I first got the job, believe it or not, I don't know if I could really tell this story, but I lost a friend over the hiring of Big Country. We've been rocking together. I know you saw us back in the day. We've been joining at the hit from 2010, rolling through this thing, trying to do big and better things here at Jackson State, changing lives, doing things that the administration want us to do, bringing in great recruits, make sure that they graduate, making great men and women that go to society, make us proud.
Okay. Well, I welcome your staff. This is a great chance to highlight them, highlight you, and highlight the Jackson State University cross-country track and field program. Now, looking at some things, you won conference championships, most recently in cross country. I saw that last year on the men's side. What did it take to develop that type of mentality to bring in the athletes and then also to inspire them to be great?
Oh man, it took some great recruiting to bring in the kids that could handle the work and try to get us over the top. Because when we first took over the program, me and Coach Harris, the emphasis wasn't on cross country. The emphasis was mainly on track, and then you get 5 or 6 guys and hope that they can, go and finish the race. But if you look at it, cross country is a great asset to indoor and outdoor. If you got kids that can run great cross country, they can score big for you indoor and outdoor. So you get great value for your money if you can find those recruits that can go up there and handle the work, because there's a lot of work. Like I stated to you earlier, we had practice this morning. We work 6 days a week during the cross country season. And, you know, the kids show up every morning, bright and early, ready to roll. And that's one of the things that help us become champions, because we have some guys that's hungry, want to help us shine and help Jackson State shine, and they want to be champions.
Okay. Now, in your quest to become champions on the track side, indoor and outdoor track, I know you had a formidable foe in Alabama State for years, especially on the women's side. When it comes down to Jackson State University, what makes it so unique of a place to be at, to bring in recruits and also to bring in the staff? You know, not everybody knows where you are. You know, even though we understand you're in Jackson, Mississippi, but how do you get people to buy in to come to Jackson, Mississippi?
One of the main things that I found, and this was speaking to a parent a few years ago, the first question she asked is, how far is the campus from the airport? 15, 20 minutes. And I think that's a great asset, you know, since we're in the city. So a kid don't have to fly a certain amount of hours, get to the airport, and then have to drive 3-4 hours to the campus. You know, then on the way back home, they probably have to do the same thing. They have to get a friend, someone to drop them off. We are close to the airport. We're in the capital city of Mississippi. We're kind of in the middle of all the major cities. We are 3 hours from New Orleans, 3 hours from Memphis, 6 hours from Dallas, 6 hours from Atlanta. So we're right in the center of some major cities. So it's a great asset. Plus, the weather in Mississippi and in Jackson is awesome. Right. It gets a little hot and humid, but during the wintertime, we can practice outside in our shorts and t-shirt.
Okay. Now, how do you go about trying to win this conference championship, going to indoor and outdoor track and field championships?
I mean, you know, like you're a product of the MEAC.
Yeah.
So first you got to get the athlete's talent. But one of the things that in conferences like ours, sometimes numbers get you. You know, you have 21 events outdoors. Mm-hmm. You know, you have 8 scoring positions. And if you're not kind of across the board, the athletes in every event, sometimes a school that's not, quote unquote, as talented as you, right, can beat you. You know, we got events in our conference that pole vault, for example. Sometimes you get some kids that clear bar, they can score. And if a certain school got 5 guys in that event, 5 girls in that event, all 5 score, that's a whole lot of points that you got to try to make up on the track. And, you know, everybody got kids on the track. So you have to work to your strength, and sometimes, you know, catch up to you at the end. But we always put up a good fight. You know we're going to compete on the track. You know, we swept the hurdles a couple of times, indoor and outdoor. We defend. We're the champions in the hurdles the last few years. You know, we good in the distance, the sprints. Sometimes we fall a little short in the jumps, stuff like that. But, you know, we always going to put up a fight.
Okay. Well, Coach Brewster, you know, you're the newest addition, I believe, to the staff that's on this panel. What was it that made you want to be a part of this staff?
When I finished running, I became a graduate assistant back in 2017. What really inspired me was Coach Country. When I was a runner for Jackson State, he kept pushing me to be better than what I thought I was. I was more so in my mind when I was a runner. So I never really gave myself the best potential until he was like, quit being a practice All-American, just go out there and run. And so when we was at Georgia Tech one year, I just went out there and ran. And then he basically inspired me to be like a better person myself. So me going out there, being an athlete, I could transition that into being a coach. And if he could push me to be a better person, then I could push an athlete to be a better person. So Coach Mark gave me opportunity to, you know, be hired on. And I was like, you know what, I could do this. So I was like, well, let's take this step and journey. And it's been, it's been rocky here and there, but, they believe in me and pushes me to be the best. So I keep on going.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pick on you a little bit here, but not picking. Just to drop out a thing. New to the sport, coming from a student athlete, going into the coaching realm. You had to. You say there's some rocky moments there. What are some things that you see that you've experienced as far as of getting you to the place that you are now, to have the confidence that he has into you to put you in charge of people? What have you learned through that experience up to this point now?
I would say the first thing I learned is basically separating myself from the athletes as a coach, because like when my first year in, some of them were still my teammates. So for them to be like, oh, you're coach now, but you were my teammate, it was kind of a little rocky because it's like, I'm no longer your friend at the moment. I'm your coach. So it's like boundaries. So that was the part that was a little rocky, was kind of separating myself, but it wasn't hard because at the end of the day, I got a job to do and got to get it done. So I would say that would be most likely it.
Okay. Coach Thorne, how did you get her to realize that she had to separate that time, that connection, and have a strong line there to where she can keep the resolve with the student athletes of being there, being from that point of being a student athlete, and then making a transition to a coach?
I think when she was a grad assistant with us, that was a part of her apprenticeship. And the way how she conducted herself, and she got the job done. Being a grad assistant for us per se, there's no quote unquote stipend. It's basically you kind of volunteering, but you're grad assistant. So she handled that. She conducted herself with grace. She kept things on point. And when the time come to make a hire, like she was right there, and we're a family, and we don't want to go outside because in this business sometimes you don't know what you're getting until you get the person. And if you have a person that's right there and the job that they can do, it's a no-brainer to bring them in the circle, and teach them the ropes and stuff like that. Sometimes I let her go and make some mistakes and stuff, but she a quick learner, and she takes criticism. She don't pout. She takes it like a woman, and move on. Like she always say, no hard feelings.
True. Coach Harris, man, you every time I see Coach Mark, you're right there. So, and he explained that y'all been there from day one, going to now. What was special about when you came into the program, and how has it changed on a positive note coming up to this point now?
Well, like you said, me and Coach been rocking now. It's been a couple of years. I ain't gonna tell our age to tell how long it's been. But we've been on this ship together for a while now. And every year I feel like we have grown exponentially as far as what we do for the program and how we're moving it forward and what our goals are moving forward. So every year I always try to take a time to reevaluate what I did the year before, what worked, what didn't work, kind of figure those things out. So what I can do to improve myself and what we can do to improve the program. So I definitely think every year we're getting better and better. We're better recruiting. We're doing a better job of coaching. We're doing a better job of handling and dealing with these kids because, it's a little different now. So, I think we're doing a better job of moving forward every year as far as we try to motivate and push our kids to that next level.
Now, we all know you're coaching at an HBCU, but I've been there, and I understand sometimes we don't want to be just look at just as the HBCU. You're trying just to win the conference. You're trying to win get to nationals, qualify for nationals, get your kids to score at nationals, and eventually win nationals. So how do you bring that into the program there? How are you instilling that inside of your program?
Well, I always coach for nationals. Because if you can qualify for nationals, you're gonna win the conference championship. We don't have to worry about that. So that's the mindset I always put in. So we're coaching beyond who's gonna be here in May. The end of May. That's what we need to know. Who's gonna be here at the end of May. And if you're coaching towards that, conference is gonna take care of itself. So I always want somebody who has aspirations to go to nationals. If you don't have those aspirations, then maybe this is not the program for you. So we're looking for people who want to go to nationals, who want to thrive, and going to do well in the classroom. So that's what we're looking for. So we coach that, we preach that, and we push that.
Well, what are some of the things that have at Jackson State University that you feel, Coach Thorne, that help make your program be successful? Like, is there support staff that help out and assist in that level? And how do y'all manage, or who's the liaison for different areas around campus?
Right now, we have a great support staff. AD Ashley Robinson, great AD. He always asks, "Hey, Coach, what you need?" He try to give us the things we need so that we could be successful. Strength and conditioning. We have a new strength and conditioning coach. Does a great job with the kids. Sports medicine. That's an area that they're trying to get some new people in, because the people we had before, they move on to bigger and better things, but they always work with the kids. And after practice, before practice, try to get the kids ready for the day. And if I could go back a few years, we were we were on the trajectory to be a great program. We had a freshman that went to the Olympics in 2012, made the Olympic final. He was an All-American indoors and outdoors. And the previous administration cut some of our scholarships. So that set us back a few years, because in this game it takes scholarships. But we've had some quality athletes that came through, make it to regionals, and make it to nationals. Like Coach Country said, the goal is always to make it to nationals, and the kids do the work. Because when you get to regionals, anything can happen. So that's one of the things. But we have a great AD, great support staff. Coach Scott, Coach Alice. We had my sports supervisor, Hakeem McCallum. He's now the AD at Mississippi Valley, but he was a track guy at Mississippi Valley. So everything that, he was a track guy, he was my supervisor. So he knew to get us the things that we need to get to be successful.
Yeah. Well, I know you say you had a cut in scholarships, but yet you still survived. And then I'm sure that they got back, maybe, I'm not sure if all, but they got you back some more scholarships in there. So
it took a minute to get back to, especially that 12.6 on the men's side. And we're not at full at 18 for the women, but we're trying to get there.
So we're dealing with that when you know that you don't have the exact number of scholarships. There's a lot of programs out there who will say, well, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. But yet, we can all complain about the different amount of scholarships, but yet you still persevere throughout, and what would you say to those who, have a scholarship deficiency, what the mindset needs to be at this point, at that point, to move forward?
First, it got to be about the kids. Get some quality kids in. Try to figure out the area that you can be great in. Like I always say this about your previous conference, the MEAC. There's certain schools in the MEAC that probably would not win the conference, but there's always our nationals. Coppin State, for example. Those guys, they get some sprinters, they concentrate on the sprints. They might have a 1 or 2 middle distance, but that's their niche. Then you might have some schools that will be more distance heavy, and they're good in cross country, and they're decent on the track, but they got the distance, you know. So find your niche. If your niche is in the throws, get some great throws. If your niche is in the sprints and hurdles, get some sprints and hurdles. So just work on that and build your program through that area.
What are the expectations for your staff? Do you place a high expectation for them?
Yeah, you know, like Coach said, we always try to get kids to go to nationals. You know, our AD, the number one thing is to win conference, top 3 in the conference. So that's one of the goals of the university, top 3 in the conference. But we want to win conference. We want to take kids to nationals because we want to be in the spotlight. You know, we want to put Jackson State on the map. You know, so that Jackson State is here, man. Them guys good. Them girls are good. You know, so we like that kind of publicity for our program.
Okay. Coach Brewster, looking at your compadres right here, what are some the great things that you've seen within the staff that translated to the student athletes?
They always push all the athletes, no matter if they got personal things going on in life or they just not having a great day. They're gonna pull them to the side, have a conversation with them, try to see where their head's at. Because in this generation, they be more mentally in their heads than anything. So they just try to have a conversation with them just to make sure they're doing good. And no matter what's going on, they continue to keep pushing them so that they could be better for the next day in every race they compete in as well.
Okay. Well, outside of, I know this sport takes a lot of time, family time, personal time to go towards those student athletes and to perfect this craft. You know, how do each one of you balance out your life outside of track and field?
I guess I can go first for this one. When I first got into business, it wasn't easy. Because, you know, you travel, especially during the season, you travel almost every weekend. And the wife was getting kind of itchy. But, you know, it was something that I love, the sport that I love. And then she grew into it. And then we all on one accord. But at first it was tough traveling every weekend. She at home with the kids and stuff like that. But then she grew into it, and then the kids love the sport also. So, you know, and then the perks of the game help us.
Okay. Coach Harris?
It's tricky in my household. So my wife also a coach too, but she's a coach on the high school level. She coaches cheerleading and track. So our schedules are somewhat the same. So that makes it a little bit easier. But we do have a little son that loves to be in 1,000 activities. So we definitely have to kind of figure out the balance between the two. But I make sure to make time to go on vacations when we have time to go on vacations and make sure I can be at every event he has. Coach allows me a lot of times to kind of step out, you know, especially during cross-country season because he plays football. So Coach say, hey, you know, you go ahead with your son this weekend. Coach Brewster and Coach, you know, kind of catch the slack for me. So we definitely work well with that, but I definitely make sure that I keep a balance between the two because, you know, it can get tough being on that road every weekend. And you miss a lot of things, but it's a price that we pay in because we love what we do. And if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it?
Well, I'm different. I don't really have a family. I have a mom, but she's not here. So for me, I'm a workaholic. So track is 24/7, cross country is 24/7. Outside of that, I have like a little side job that I do here and there too. So like I'm always keeping myself busy. So that's all I do.
Well, how do you keep for the staff? How do y'all keep the fun? You know, and it seems like you're having, you know, because you see a smile on each one of your faces and everything. So there has to be a joy. So how do y'all keep in the staff? how do y'all keep that joy or camaraderie at the same time? But I know you have to talk a little bit of smack every now and then to one another.
Oh, wait, hold on now. I'm the talker of the group. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna initiate conversation. I'm probably gonna bring up the tough conversation if it need to be had, and I'm also gonna crack all the jokes. You know what I mean? But we play well off each other. All our personalities kind of mesh together to where it kind of works all to one. You know what I mean? And we go to eat lunch every day, mad or indifferent. We could be beefing early in the day, and then we're gonna go eat lunch and break bread over it later. So that's what families do. Sometimes you have disagreements, sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, we're gonna sit down and make sure we get through what we need to get through, and we're gonna keep on pushing.
Yeah, and one of the things, like Coach said, we break bread every day, but we're all Jackson State grads, dear love. In fact, all of us have more than one degree from Jackson State. All of us have master's degrees from Jackson State. All of us came through Jackson State programs. Mine was a little back in the day, Coach. And Coach Brewster was a recent grad, but we love Jackson State. And we want to see Jackson State do great across the board. So that's, we bring kids in that love Jackson State also and try to make sure that they do the things that they need to do so they can graduate and be better when they leave than when they came in.
I love that statement. It's one of the things that brings up when I'm doing recruiting and everything. Is like, coming in, you're going to be this way, but your object is to leave out a different way than you come in on a positive side. And if you don't get better or thrive in this in life, then there's a disappointment towards the program, towards the coaches, towards the school. Everything is about growth, and that's one of the things that harper on to the different student athletes that come in. Like, there has to be a positive growth throughout your 4 years or your matriculation through the university. And that's one of the things I've seen at a lot of the HBCUs, being a product of it myself, is that the administration, the instructors, the coaches put a lot of emphasis on you and demands upon you, but to prepare you for life. And that's one of the things that I wanted to also think, how are you preparing your student athletes and your staff for life down the road?
I mean, we have great conversations every day. Like, even with my group in cross country right now, on those van rides to practice is great conversations. We talk about life, we talk about everything. They ask me some questions that sometimes I don't want to answer, but I know they're gonna have kids, they're gonna have a mortgage. Some of them have a car note, some of them have credit cards. So I just try to teach them about, life in the struggle sometimes. But I like to tell them, keep your glass half full. And don't try to bite off too much at that age. You're in college, enjoy it, You don't have a mortgage right now, stuff like that. So just enjoy the ride. Because when the ride comes to an end and that life starts to hit you, it can get pretty intimidating.
Okay. Well, looking at this, I want to hop a little bit more on the staff. How did you set up each person's duties on and off the track?
Man, that's a great question, because when I started, it was me and Coach Country, and Coach Country had a full-time job. So I had to do everything. And then Coach would come to practice at 3 o'clock, something like that, do his thing, go home, and then sometimes he had 5 o'clock practice. So those were the good old days, but we got the job done. Like I said, we always had some great athletes. And it was only since A.D. Robinson came in and we were split programs up until he came, then he merged the programs and he gave us 2 extra coaches. So that's when we brought in Spooner and Coach Brewster. And, that took a lot. It gave me a chance to breathe. Because, that paperwork can be tough. And then you got to go there and write training programs, coaching, all that stuff. So having Coach Spooner and Coach Brewster on board, that helped us a great deal. You know, Coach Harris, he's the tool guy. He's the jack of all trades on the staff. You know, he can handle all the groups. You know, Coach Spooner handle the jumps, and Coach Brewster assists everyone. You know, like right now she's my right hand for cross country. You know, and then when it comes to track, she's out there learning from Coach Country, learning from Coach Spooner. But we all mesh together. We all handle our groups together, and you know, one goal. You know, try to make everybody better so we can do the things we need to do to be successful.
What you just said, it reminded me of that you reiterated that your learning is a constant learning process. So every coach is still learning from each other on their areas and other areas. So, you know, it's not one specific, okay, I'm just going to be the hurdles coach. I'm just going to be the short sprints coach. I'm just going to be the long distance coach. You know, you bounce around. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, we talk to one another and pick one another's brains and share knowledge, share information. You know, because sometimes someone might spot something that someone don't see. Like, hey, do this, do that, stuff like that to help the kids get better.
Okay. Well, what do you see? Where are you foreseeing this year? Not place wise, but the expectations for the program this year.
This year, I think the coaches did a great job of recruiting. This probably is going to be our deepest and most talented team probably since we've been here, right, Coach? We have depth and quality depth. So this incoming class that we're working with right now, look out for us.
Okay. Well, now I've done this with another staff. If you can say something positive about the next person on the staff, what was something great that you can say about that individual on the staff?
Coach Country is the man. You know, he's the sheriff. So in terms of from discipline all the way down to joking, he keeps everything in check. You know, when we get on the bus, he's the man that say the prayer. If someone in the back is not doing what he's supposed to do, he gets up and handle it. So, you know, that's him. And then, like I said, we've been riding together, you know, for a long time. Long bus rides, long car rides, you know, you name it, we did it, you know. And like I said, Coach Brewster, new to the game, but she's knowledgeable. She sucks up all the information. She asks a lot of questions. Like I said, she's a great asset to the program.
Okay. Coach Brewster.
I would say thank you to both of them because they believed in me to give me an opportunity. But Coach Mark, he is a great head person. He always pushes me. He believes in me. And then Coach Country, he's always on my case, always. But he makes me a better person because he sees so much potential in me. And he makes sure, even if I don't see it, he's going to make sure I see it. Because sometimes I won't. But he's going to be like, look, let me tell you this now. You got it. And I'm like, I got it. So he believes in me. So I thank both of them because they gave me an opportunity to believe in me, to make me a better person.
Coach Harris.
Well, I'll start with Coach Mark. I definitely thank Coach Mark for letting me be me. I'm a handle at times. You know what I mean? But he allowed me to do me without standing over my shoulder. And I'm one of them kind of people, I like to move at my pace, you know, but at the end of the day, he allowed me to do that with me being deference to him as far as him being the head and making decisions. You know, we always have good conversations where we can shoot back off and forth and between each other. And always kind of, you know, sometimes I don't like his decision at the end, but guess what? We're going to go with it, you know? So that's just how our relationship is, you know what I mean? So we're good enough to fuss. And then after that, like I said, we're going to break some bread together. So to have a head coach like that is a luxury and also a blessing, you know what I mean? So it's good to have. Brewster, she does everything I need her to do. I stay on her all the time, but she's going to get it done. You know, at the end of the day, if I say, Brewster, I need this done in this manner, she's going to get it done. So that's all I can ask for as far as a sister that needs the help. She's always going to be at the place I need her to be. And a lot of times she's going to go above and beyond the call. You know, she's going to do even more than what I asked for. And that's, you can't ask for anything else like that.
Man, I love the synergy of all of you. Looking at y'all get along, y'all again, even when y'all have a little bit of tiff, you know, coming together, like you said, breaking bread together, come on one accord. Understanding is the vision of the head coach and the director of track and field cross country, and you're all in there working together to fulfill that vision. And on top, knowing and understanding that fulfilling that vision is going to help fulfill your vision that you have for yourself. That's a major part of what this is, making of champions, instilling confidence in one another, but also trying to make the vision of the top guy or top lady over there to be the brand, and to understand that if we work together, that great things can happen. Championship programs can be built, but it starts with that staff of getting it. You know, I don't discredit the athletes, because you got to have the athletes there to help you, but yet the staff has to put forth the effort and put forth the vision for that, so you know what to bring in as student athletes to come fulfill the vision that you have. So this is a great insight for what Jackson State University, with Coach Mark Thorne, which you're doing with the program, the staff that you assembled, young and old, or in between. But I wanted you to really come on the show to be a beacon of what's going on at Jackson State University, what's going on in the SWAC conference, and then also what you have assembled for greatness within the conference and within the national levels and regional levels. I'm sure, you know, through our talks, I know what you're trying to do. We might have gone at it on recruits, but
definitely, man. You know, one of the guys that helped you in your program. Remember, we went Mr. Fisher.
Old Fish.
Mr. Fisher, man, that guy right there. You know, I see him and we still have good conversations, because when we lose a recruit, we don't take it personal. We wish them the best and hope that they are successful wherever they go. But that was one that got away from us. That yeah.
Yes, he helped me out very, very much. So
yeah.
But it shows you, for everyone, no matter what, you know, some people slept on him. You didn't, I didn't,
Right.
Cooper didn't. So we have an eye for talent, and you have an eye for talent. And sometimes it may not be the 25 coming out of high school or the 26-foot long jump coming out of high school. It's that 23 consistent and pop 24s here and there. But you see something within it, and that's the great vision that you and your staff had to see it. I'm just glad that we brought out on that side.
You know, on our level, you know, sometimes we our recruits mainly sometimes in the developmental stage. You know, we like to take a 10-7 guy and turn him into a 10-3, 10-2 guy. You know, a 21-5 guy, and so if you could get him on the 21. You know, 20.9, 20.8, 48 to 46, you know, 152 to 148, 149. So those are the kind of kids that we try to develop them to make them better. You know, do little diamonds in the rough.
We actually had a lot of success doing that. We had a lot of walk-ons to come on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden at the end, they're on scholarship, you know, because we just saw some talent, gave them an opportunity. So we don't turn them folks away. You know what I mean? We see you got something. Let's come see if we can work that something out. You know, and that's where, you know, relationships come in, and just talking to the kid and figure out what was going on. And maybe something you can do can help them get to that level that they try to achieve. You know, it's usually just a missing piece here and there. But as coaches, you know, that's our job. We got to find that missing piece and put it together.
Now, one good thing, a lot of people just look at the stat, but some I know being able to see the person do what they do, the stat may not be the best at the time, but yet once you watch and see what they're doing or not doing, then you know, man, if I fixed this or did this right here, this person will be primed up for what we need to do at this program, and no one else is going to see it. You know, but when we get them in here, yeah. You know, where did he come from? Where did she come from?
Right.
They were right there the whole time. You just didn't see it.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And that's the nature of this business, of also not just looking at this the talent on the paper, but where is the growth going to be with that person, and how well can we do it? And it takes a special staff to see that, you know, and understand that. And you know, that's one of the things that I've seen throughout the process at Jackson State, and your staff and the program there, developing. You've had some stars. Don't get me wrong. You had some star athletes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Jackson State is just a developmental thing. You have to come in, you know, but then there's also those other ones to help build the team up. You can have your couple stars, but you have to have those other players that come along that you develop into that, and then they get the mindset of that one star or stud. They help facilitate what you're trying to do as a program.
Yeah, but the number one star that we had, Mr. Dubudawana, when he came to us, he wasn't a star per se. Mm. He was a 10-7, 20.9 guy. Mm. Right? I mean, good numbers. Yeah. But I think he left at 10-1 and 20.1 or 20.2 in 2 years.
10-10.
Right.
20.10.
Yeah.
So Jackson State has done it on the national and international level. And just in case y'all think it's just a statewide thing, no, they're internationally recruiting as well. So I wanted you to understand that this staff is put together well for making of champions, and I want to thank the staff at Jackson State, Coach Mark Thorne, Coach Big Country right there, Harris, Miss Brewster, for all that you have done and coming on the show and sharing your vision, sharing your experiences. And I want to kind of leave some time for you, if you want to say anything out there to the people who are watching, some words of inspiration or anything that's on your mind.
Coach Brewster, go first. I'll go last.
I would say, if you have a vision, go for it. Don't let nobody steer you away from your vision. Always believe in yourself first and do what you want to do, because no matter what, it's your happiness. So you have to go for it.
First of all, man, I want to thank you for letting us come on this show, letting us get our program out to the masses, and definitely give you your flowers, because you're doing big things, man. Like you said, we've been watching for years, watching what you're doing and how you're moving. And I definitely tip my hat to you, brother, and just keep on moving. My closing remarks is, at the end of the day, only thing we trying to do is make kids better than what they came. When they leave, they got to be better than what they came. That's our whole goal. And I'm talking about holistic. We're not just talking about on the track. We're talking about in the classroom. We talk about them as a person. So we can change them as a person and give them some tools to succeed in this thing we call life. Our job is done. So just keep on pushing, keep on grinding. And like I said, tip my hat to you. Keep on doing your thing.
Thank you. Blessings.
And to second everything that Coach Brewster and Coach Harris said, tip my hat to you. We seen you from from back in the day, a while back when you were at SC State. And in closing, I would just like to say a few, one of the things that I've learned in this business, and I got this from Carl Lewis, having a conversation with him back in Barbados when he was recruiting. I was recruiting in Barbados. He said 3 of the things that he builds is trust, respect, and accountability. And those are some of the pillars that we try to build our program on. Because when we get kids that come in, sometimes, you know, they might want to trust the summer track coach and the high school coach, but we make them trust us that we're gonna give them the things that they need to be given to be successful. And then respect, you know, respect everyone, respect your teammates, respect your coaches, your teachers, everyone. And accountability, you know, go to class, come to practice early, do the things that need to be done. You know, if I'm not at practice, I got to work, warm up, get ready, so that when we come to practice, we're ready to roll. So those are some of the pillars that we try to build our program on.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Staff here at Jackson State University doing some great things in cross-country track and field. If you haven't checked them out, go to their website, log on, click on them, call. They're free. When they go out into the track meets and everything, they are free spirit. They were willing to talk, pick their brains, talk to them. You know, you will gain a lot of knowledge from this staff, and you'll have a few laughs at the same time. Get with them, but want you to be able to understand what this show is about, the Making of Champions. I thank you for the praises you gave me. It's just making a platform to get information out to others and to highlight different programs at the same time. We're going to end this on the Making of Champions season 4. Want to thank all those who watched, and I want you to click on the link, subscribe, share, and like. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.